What's up everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Monday, December 29th. Now in today's dog video, I want to share with you why dog will become the most iconic meme asset on Bitcoin and across cryptocurrency. And this isn't just my words. This is actually from a CEO of Kraken, Arjun Sethi. And I want to share everything in this video why right now in the data, dog is set to do so well in 2026, given the 50-day and 200-day moving average. So that's going to be brought up at the very end of the video. But before we get into that, we have to talk about the price volatility happening within the crypto market and how that's been performing against real material assets such as gold, silver, even platinum for that matter. So let's get right into it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So dog right now is hovering around a 97 million market cap. It touched close to around 100 million market cap. On Kraken, it actually hit 110 million market cap, but we saw some major pullback. Even though we did see a pump, we just saw a dump as well. Now, let's look at Bitcoin's price. Look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now used to be at around 90,000. If you don't believe me, let's go and look into the chart. Yes, it hit 90,000 as of this morning, and all of a sudden we saw a massive dip when the US markets opened. Now, why did this happen? Well, it's due to this manipulation. Now, this has been happening for quite some time. So if you've noticed, Wintermute, which is a market maker, along with Binance and Coinbase, have kind of behind the scenes literally pumped the market before the US markets open, and then all of a sudden when the US markets do open, they then dump. So we saw roughly around $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin dump between Binance, Wintermute, and Coinbase. So that's quite fascinating, but listen, this is what the cryptocurrency market is going through, and this is what happens when we don't have the Clarity Act. We need some regulation, but until then, you're most likely going to see a lot of volatility with longs being liquidated. Yes, long leverage traders are still leverage trading. But I also want to talk about gold, silver, and platinum because for the very first time, we're actually seeing a pullback in their price. You know, gold, silver, and platinum have been reaching new all-time highs. But in terms of their intraday time frame, they've actually reached a new low, which is actually quite interesting. Now, Bitcoin historian, who is, by the way, Pete Rizzo, he says that because silver is forecasting new all-time highs, maybe that could signal that Bitcoin could go over $400,000, maybe by 2026. But just literally right now as we speak, we just found out that Michael Saylor bought the dip. He bought roughly around 1,229 Bitcoin. That's roughly around 108 million US dollars. So let's go over to the meme coin market sector. So yesterday, I noticed that Pudgy Penguins, when Bitcoin was pumping up to roughly around 90,000, this price of Pudgy Penguins was up 9.5, but now it's down 9.0, so it's down almost close to 3%. Now, let's go and scroll over to where Bitcoin is. It actually hasn't gone down or up as much, it's been kind of staying steady, still in the positive over the past 7 days. So that's actually really good for Bitcoin. But why am I betting on the Bitcoin ecosystem, especially runes and dog? I mean, if you look at this is Lunar Crush. Now, I think this is kind of revealing. Now, if you look at the sectors that are seeing the greatest increase in 2025 in terms of social activity, Bitcoin ecosystem rose up to number 6. Now that's always surprising because there's a lot of ecosystems within crypto, but Bitcoin made it on the top 6, regardless of all the FUD that's been happening around it and the less developers building around it compared to Solana or Ethereum. So right now, Bitcoin is being compared to the Solana ecosystem, as you can see on the far left, and on the upper right, it's even alongside DeFi. You know, that privacy coins like Zcash garnered a lot of attraction. But this is something that I just really want you guys and girls to understand, that Bitcoin is now going to grow into 2026 in its 3rd year for development progress, but also social interest. Now, just a couple days ago, I posted this clip of Arjun Sethi from Kraken. He is the CEO. Now, I want to play this clip right now because he's going to express how he saw dog as an early signal. But notice one word that he brings up in this interview. It is the word ridiculed, and I'll bring this up later.
I looked at, dog as an early signal for me, at least, and maybe like it's possible a pivotal moment. Who knows? And so bring this back to Tribe, and I get in the rabbit hole of a lot of the companies that I support. Was that we just always pay close attention to early behavior, right? So you've seen the early behavior. We just talked about it. And it doesn't make sense to others. Like you might get ridiculed by it. People might make fun of you about it. People still make fun of me about dog. Even today, they're like, I don't understand what's in your Twitter profile or bio. Like, what are you tweeting? And it doesn't matter to me. It's just like, well, I'm in this zone right now where it matters to enough of a community. And so I think it's cool that, there's been a cultural accelerant from us, but so many other people that I've seen, other exchanges starting to do the same thing on top of Bitcoin, which is like, for which years has been viewed as super static to evolve, or too static to evolve. And so by putting, I don't know, dog in my profile or my description or on LinkedIn, I think it was kind of like, in homage to something that's just completely new and that's not part of a different accelerant.
Now let's talk about Mark Yusko. Now you just heard that interview with Arjun Sethi, how he mentioned when you're a part of something new, you will be ridiculed. Now, Mark Yusko, as you know, we did an interview with him recently, and he talked about Dog, he talked about runes, he talked about Ordinals and Bitcoin DeFi. And he's still bullish on Dog. As you can see, he did a mic drop in regards to Leonidas saying drop the E. And obviously, that was a reflection and response to the original post of this drop the E from Mark Yusko. So now I'm going to play this next clip, which was part of the interview last week, where he also talks about ridicule.
My pin tweet is the greatest wealth comes from investing in innovation. Okay? To do that, you have to invest in something you believe in before other people even understand. And you'll be mocked and ridiculed for your non-consensus action, but it's totally worth it.
So isn't that fascinating that both Mark and Arjun Sethi, major leaders in this space, both in the financial world for TradeFi and DeFi, along with cryptocurrency such as Arjun Sethi. So now I'm going to play this clip, and this is regarding how Arjun Sethi, the CEO of Kraken, states that Dog has a shot at becoming crypto's most iconic meme coin asset.
And so let's now talk about Dog. So it's got a bunch of the right ingredients. It's got a strong meme. It's got an extremely sticky community. It's got a massively credible infrastructure that's been built. Just imagine the amount of time it's taken to build that infrastructure. And it's got an alignment with Bitcoin's natural cultural gravity, right? Like around what we had mentioned before versus what it is today and what it could look like in the future. And so if you can continue to sustain that over multiple cycles, hype or not, then it has a real shot at becoming, maybe crypto's most iconic meme asset. Why not? Why not take that shot? For the rest of the community that's out there. And so at Kraken, why wouldn't we want to be a part of supporting that story? Why wouldn't I, as an individual, want to be a part of supporting that story? It's not because it's popular, but because it's very, very meaningful to an existing set of users and then the next wave of customers on what that will mean to them. And so then again, how does that track back, right? It's a form of expression. It's something that people value. And you can't put a number to something that enough people put value to. You can't say they're wrong. And so if they decide that they want to save, store, yield, stake, whatever, and build around that, and then we can help support it with some of the other products that we're making, like it's an incredible place to be that meaningful to that many customers worldwide, right? We're talking about, 2, 5, 8 billion people at some point where we might be able to get access to like some of this permissionless meme coin.
Okay, so now you just heard from Arjun Sethi. So I've given you all the different clues of why these major leaders, who by the way, they're chosen in their positions as a CEO of both companies, of both Morgan Creek Capital and Kraken Exchange, and how they see it in Dog. So these are the 1% that spot these early signals. So now you are part of that 1%. As you can see, these people that are in my comments are saying that they're stacking from 2.5 million Dog, 500,000 Dog on Christmas, 15 million Dog, and 20 million is their goal. Another person bought roughly around 10 million. So who are you? Are you the 1% that thinks like Arjun, that thinks like Mark Yusko? Or are you the 99% that's going to chase the pump and only chase the pump on every single coin out there? And you don't want to be the people that buy late. Those are the people that usually are treated as exit liquidity. Now, if you didn't know, I found out this new feature within the Kraken app. Now, if you don't have Kraken Pro, you're not into setting a limit buy orders, well, there's a little tutorial here that I just want to share with you, and I will share this clip because it kind of gives you a step-by-step guidance on how to set buy orders at specific price points of where you want to buy. And all you have to do is just set it and forget it. So you can go to sleep, let the app do it for you, and let the market come to you. And this can also be said about selling prices. You can also set sell orders for specific price points. Let me share this video with you right now. Okay, now that you saw that step-by-step tutorial, now let's look into the charting and analysis. So as you see with the MACD, as always, which is very positive, is that we're still stepping out of the seller's market ever since August of 2025. We continue to trend upwards on this yellow trend line, ascending soon into the buyer's market. And I almost feel that that confirmation is going to happen even sooner, because look at the daily moving average. This is the 200-day moving average, which is the green line, and the 50-day moving average, which is the orange line. And as you see with the 200-day, as I mentioned before, it's curving even more to the downside. And that's an early sign that soon this will go down to the point where the 50-day moving average will cross with it, forming a golden cross. Now, could this happen within the month of December? Well, considering that we only have a few days, I don't think so. But this absolutely could happen between January, because right now the 100 million market cap is the resistance level, as you can see here with the purple line. We've been bouncing below it on and off repeatedly, just showing that that's something that we need to break through. So once we do break through that, and we also see the dog price surpassing the 50-day moving average, then you can start to see something very similar to what we saw in the past, which happened right over here. So as you can see with the dog price, here's a great example. The dog price started to go upwards, and what happened is it crossed over the 50-day moving average, which is this orange line. So what happened to the 50-day moving average line? That orange line started to curve very sharply to the upside. So you could see something very similar to this, where we start to see the very nice curvature where it starts to form a U shape, and then that sharp curvature, especially with the dog price going above the 50-day moving average, you'll start to see a heads up of that 200-day crossing that 50-day. That's something very exciting. Okay, so with that said, this is everything that I've shared with you regarding that market manipulation with Wintermute, Coinbase, even Binance, but also how major leaders within the field of both crypto and on TradeFi, Mark Yusko and Arjun Sethi, saying, if you want to be a part of innovation, you will most likely be mocked, but most importantly, you will be ridiculed. And that's what I feel is what's happening with the 1% right now. They are being ridiculed because they are stepping into something that they feel they believe in. And most times the 99% argue, chase, and point fingers at people saying that this is not great, that this is the reason why no one's going to be successful. And they rather point fingers rather than take responsibility. So it's really up to you to decide for yourself where you stand. Are you going to be the 1% in the specific coin? Or are you going to be the 99% chasing it? And this is some tool that you can take with you, not just within this dog token, but within Bitcoin, within any other speculative asset, not just crypto. So hopefully this video has been very helpful for you, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I cannot wait to read them. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. And I'll see you next time.